So, greeting, friends. Um, Today's talk is on the 10 Paramitas, as the Buddha taught those to Sariputta. But just as for background, the um, the different schools, primarily what I'm talking about, the difference between what the Buddha actually taught and the later developed schools known as the Mahayana schools, um, teach similar paramitas. In the Mahayana schools are usually as 6 paramitas cited, as you'll hear in just a moment. The Buddha taught 10 to Sariputta. There's no real substantive differences in the paramitas themselves, but the focus of why we practice or why we hope to develop paramitas. Paramitas are, perfections of quality of mind or mind states. The differences in the direction of the Dhamma, the purpose of the Dhamma or Mahayana Dharma itself. The Mahayana schools hold that the Bodhisattva ideal is the highest ideal, and it's the path to awakening. The Buddha did not teach the Bodhisattva ideal in any as any path. He when he mentioned the Bodhisattva ideal, he always referred to himself in the past, prior to his awakening, as an unawakened Bodhisattva. And what he's saying there, again, in order to understand what the Buddha taught, you have to understand the context of what he taught. And so what he's saying there is that even though he had a highly developed, a highly evolved sense of compassion for all humanity, in fact, that's what set him out to seek understanding, he was lacking understanding of Four Noble Truths. Hence, he was an unawakened Bodhisattva. He had great high ideals, great compassion, but he was lacking understanding and he was lacking wisdom. The later developed schools, through a series of influences, but you can date them back even to the Second Buddhist Council, and during the Third Buddhist Council, the Mahayana ideal started to coalesce, and that's explained in my new book, Becoming Buddha. It's also on the website, on the article on the Pali Canon. That's where the split took place. So the Buddha taught awakening. That achieving awakening was achieving arahantship, which simply means an awakened, fully mature human being. And he taught a very specific path. He taught an 8-fold path to develop that. And the significant difference really is in that focus. The Bodhisattva ideal holds basically that compassion is the focus and almost the entire path. And compassion is often used to mask what the Buddha described as a causative factor for all suffering. It's often used to mask ignorance of Four Noble Truths. So if we're lacking in less than compassionate way towards others or even towards ourselves, it's not because we're not compassionate enough. It's because we're lacking the wisdom to go hand in hand with the intention for compassion, and that's where the Four Noble Truths develop. So that's enough of an introduction to the differences. Again, there's a little bit more on the website, and there's a little bit more in this article, but I want to just start with the Buddha's description. So one day Sariputta questioned the Buddha, "How many qualities are there to be developed in the Dhamma?" The Buddha responded, "There are 10 qualities developed in the Dhamma." Now, notice he's not teaching that you need to develop these qualities in order to practice the Dhamma. They're an expression of someone who is developing the Dhamma. Again, the difference between the Bodhisattva ideal and the Arahant ideal. Great compassion is then an expression of an awakened, fully mature human being, rather than something that is grasped after or idealized to prove awakening, which is often what happens. What are these 10? Giving or dana, virtue, renunciation, wisdom, energy, and a very specific type of energy, Patience, truthfulness, determination, loving kindness, and equanimity are qualities developed in the Dhamma. These are my words. So giving or dana is the first perfection and truly incorporates all of the other perfections. And the most generosity has many forms, and certainly some of those forms can be being generous with things that people own. It could be with money, with donations that way, or property. It could be with mundane things such as mundane but important things such as food or shelter, all the other things that we can share that we may currently have use of. The highest form of generosity is to share the Dhamma. And so if one truly wants to be generous, as far as the Buddha teaches generosity, you will take to the Dhamma so that you have something of inestimable value to share, a true understanding of Dhamma. Let me continue just a little bit further. The Buddha described an awakened human being as unbound or released from clinging to objects, events, views, and ideas, rooted in ignorance of Four Noble Truths. Dana, being mindful of and expressing great generosity, is the outward expression of freedom from clinging in all of its forms. Near the end of the Buddha's life, in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, he speaks of this. There's a very interesting line. He said that this is after Ananda was pleading with the Buddha for one final teaching before he passed. And the Buddha said, I'm not like that of like a teacher with a closed fist. I've held nothing back. And this directly relates to the Dana. It directly relates to a lot of the way that Buddhism, the modern hierarchical approach to Buddhism is presented, that you need to achieve certain states. And usually it has to do with physical forms of merit, meaning donating a lot of money, and then you're allowed to have higher teachings or empowerments. It's nothing that the Buddha never taught any of that thing, anything like that. He taught the Dhamma in a straightforward, easily understood way, and he held nothing back. The greatest act of compassion that I think the Buddha ever expressed was the simplicity of his generosity with the Dhamma. The 10 paramitas can be integrated into Dhamma practice by bringing each paramita to mind directly after meditation, and just to consider what these mean, to start developing an intellectual understanding of these paramitas and holding them out in your own mind as a quality of mind to develop. Now, it is obviously an ongoing expression of developing the Eightfold Path that one can develop these great qualities of mind, these great paramitas. There's no way to simply decide that one wants to be generous or loving or have great energy for the Dhamma or any of the other paramitas. That's not nearly enough, and it's because we inherently lack the wisdom of knowing how to express these without any clinging to self-referential views. So the idea that I am going to become more loving, I am going to have more great energy, I'm going to be more generous, has that sense of I-making already built in. It's already lacking ignorance. But to develop the entire Eightfold Path, which means to develop that profound concentration rooted in shamatha vipassana meditation that then supports the refined mindfulness of the Eightfold Path as the framework of a well-integrated life, then our ongoing life becomes an expression of each and every one of these paramitas. In other words, an awakened human being does not consider expressing a paramita. It is a natural expression of who and what they are, a fully awakened, fully mature human being. And that's a significant difference. So if we strive for any or all of these paramitas, the way to develop that is to develop the entire Buddha Dhamma, to develop the entire Eightfold Path. And that's today's talk. Thank you for listening. Peace.